This is Krish Murli Ishwar, and I have with me Dr. Vandana. Thank you so much, Vandana, for joining us on this live show. She has been managing all the questions related to workshop signing and Kundalini awakening. So, Vandana, tell us, what are those common fears that people have, and what kind of questions people ask you before they sign up for Kundalini awakening workshops of ours?
Be blessed by the divine. So I have a bunch of questions that I get asked almost every day. Since you all know, there are a lot of videos in this channel, and therefore people have been watching it, and they have questions that they want clarified before they can come for our workshops. So I have a few questions that I would love for Professor Krishmurli Ishwar to answer. So it equips all of us to be able to, manage the questions that we get. The first question is Kundalini a scary experience?
You tell me, you have had a Kundalini awakening. Has it been scary?
Never. It's been the best experience that I've had, all through my life. Of course, it is a personal experience, and therefore, sometimes, getting to answer this is tough. So, what would one answer when, there's a question like this?
Okay. So first of all, we should understand why people ask this question. So there could be several reasons. Maybe two most common reasons could be one, that they have seen some video that put fear in their head,
Right.
or they have read somewhere, or they have heard it from somebody else that Kundalini awakening is a very dangerous thing, so therefore one needs to be careful about it. So the second reason could be that they themselves have had some kind of a scary experience in the past. It may be that they have gone to the wrong guru, wrong teacher, who had perhaps given them some kind of a experience that kind of scared them. So maybe there's a third reason, which is like they really did not have a Kundalini awakening, but they really had some scary experience, and that they have they somehow maybe did some Google search or YouTube search, and then found out that maybe this Kundalini awakening could indeed sometimes be scary, and it could have some symptoms of kind such as headache and some kind of a body shaking and vibrations in the body, and etc. etc. So they may have associated their fearful experience with that of a Kundalini awakening. So therefore, first is to ask them, why are you afraid of this? What is it that is making you feel fearful about a Kundalini awakening or Kundalini experience or Kundalini yoga? So if the answer is one of the three, then the answers are, our reply will be very, very simple. So my reply would be, number one, if you have read it somewhere that this is in fact a very scary and a very life-threatening experience, so to sort. So first thing, be assured that I have personally been a Kundalini yogi for the last about 33 years. Is 1984 August. That's when I got my Kundalini awakened by our guru Sri Vethathiri Maharishi. And ever since I have been practicing, and I have found it to be extremely safe and simple and easy to practice. There has been no fearful and fiery and difficult and negative experience I've ever had in the last 33 years of doing this meditation. I do this every day. And you know this, Vandana, that I practice on a regular basis, and not a single day that I don't meditate on my own Kundalini Shakti. So that's my first answer to them. The second answer is, like me, there are thousands of people who have learned this Kundalini meditation through me. You learned it
I
through
have
me.
learned it through you, yeah.
Yes, and so are thousands of people whom we have initiated in our own meditation center in Bangalore.
Right.
So you have been part of many of those workshops that we have been conducting for the last 2 plus 3 years or so, that we have been conducting fairly regularly. We've been conducting it. In fact, the last workshop happened in December. Was it December? Yeah. So in December, we had about 91 aspirants coming for our
That's
workshop.
right. Yeah.
So all of them had a wonderful experience. There has not been a single negative experience or a fiery experience that anybody ever had. So you are witness to it, Vandana. So
Yeah.
we should be able to answer that and tell them that
Right.
we have had many such people learning it through us in our own workshop. So the third part of the answer could be that, like us, there are about 13,000 such teachers across 2,500 or so um, meditation centers and trusts and temple of consciousness across the world. And we have over about 20 million people who have been practicing, who have been initiated into the simplified Kundalini Yoga through our 2,500 centers by 13,000 professors and about 65,000 trained teachers that we have in our system. So why fear? None of them have had any negative experience so far. Yeah. So why should we be worried about it? And I think the best of all the answers could be that guide them to learn about our Guru, Sri Vethathiri Maharishi. And it's you can go to Google, you can go to vethathiri.edu.in and find out about his life history and his experience and what he has done and what he has achieved in all his life. And it's very clear that he stood for non-hurting as a principle. He stood for simplifying what could otherwise be not a very easy experience for people to get in their lifetime. So therefore, it is it is his system that we follow. It is a simplified physical yoga and simplified Kundalini yoga, simplified meditation, simplified introspection practices, simplified Kayakalpa yoga. These are the systems that we follow in our system. So it is backed by a well established system of governance. We have quality checks, we have monitoring, we have reports, we have audits, we have continual education for all the professors and teachers. I too have to go through continual education every 2 to 3 years. I need to be recertified in the system. And so it's not like anybody and everybody can just teach and everybody can just go ahead and do this. So so when we look at this from a holistic perspective and what an established system this is, I think we have a much better chance of giving confidence and assurance to people that they can very easily and simply, without any negative effects, awaken their Kundalini and succeed in attracting good health, long life, enough wealth, peace, prosperity, fame, and wisdom. Next question. So,
commonly people would call me and tell me about a certain experience that they've had. For example, very recently I had a person who called me and said that they've been meditating for say 4 or 5 hours continually in a stretch after they had a certain spiritual experience, like an out of body experience, and this experience would get magnified when they are meditating. It also would get magnified when they go to a Devi temple or some such spiritual places, and it just takes them to another world. So I'm at a loss of answering such a question because personally I can't understand what the experience is. I can only tell them what my experience has been, learning Kundalini experience. So maybe because of misinformation out there, they understand this experience as something to do with Kundalini. What would such an experience mean? And
okay, so first and foremost, I would suggest that you restrict your meditation to about 20 minutes at a time. It is meaningless to sit and do 4 hours of meditation. First of all, your body will ache. You will get into so many interruptions from within you and from around you, and you are not going to attain nirvana in 4 hours time. It is meaningless. You have a life to lead. You have your perhaps a family, you have your duties by your parents, you have your duties by your children if you have any, you have your duties by your office and any profession that you are practicing, and by the world community. So you have to, and you have duty for yourself. You have your body, you have your mind, you have your life force. You need to take care of all of these and the society, and then also practice meditation. So first and foremost, never ever do 4 hours of meditation, because it is meaningless and it is unnecessary and it is perhaps negative in giving you effect. It's not correlated positively. The more you meditate, the more you will gain benefit from, is not necessarily true. 20 minutes to 30 minutes of meditation at a time, about 2 times in a day. So it's like morning 20-30 minutes and evening 20-30 minutes is more than sufficient for a normal human being like
Right.
you and me. Please understand this. Now, second thing is, in spite of doing just 20-30 minutes meditation every day, chances are there is some kind of a heightened state of mind which could perhaps be interpreted as an out of body experience. And maybe there is indeed an out of body experience that somebody has had, which is not necessarily a scary experience in the first place. And this can easily be managed, this can easily be understood, this can easily be controlled by you. My only suggestion here is consider making a visit to the nearest Simplified Kundalini Yoga center, and they will teach you methods by which we give you internal clearance, or called Tanduvada Shuddhi, by which your spinal column gets cleared of any blockage, so that you don't have any out of body experience or any kind of negative scary experience while you are sitting and meditating. So it's essential that the life force microcosmic circuits, of which there are three which are very highly important, are understood to be important by the rishis and the saints. One is the Ida Nadi. The left side of your body is believed to be having the we have believed to have inherited the life force energy of our mother. The right side of the body, the Pingala Nadi, is perhaps controlled by the life force that we inherited from our father. And then there is the Sushumna Nadi in the center, which is our own life force particles that we have acquired in this lifetime. So when these three are in balance, the Pingala and the Ida Nadi gets totally balanced, and the Sushumna Nadi is thoroughly balanced, then this life force will start to raise from the Muladhara chakra to the Agna chakra in between the eyebrows here. So when this awakening takes place, you can have a much more harmonious and a easy and a simple awakening, and which can give you only pleasant effects overall in the body, in the mind, and in the spirit. And therefore, my suggestion is learn Simplified Kundalini Yoga through a Sky Yoga Center to balance out these abnormalities or irregularities that you might or aberrations that you may experience from time to time through various other forms of Kundalini meditation. There are various forms of Kundalini meditation that people talk about. I am not an expert in all the forms of Kundalini meditation. I am indeed a master, certified by my guru, Sri Vethathiri Maharishi. Like me, there are several thousand masters who are perhaps more experienced than I am. So go to one of them. Learn this Sky meditation from one of them, and it's very easy to sort out any of these aberrative or aberrations that you may have in your so-called spiritual experience that you may have. And there is no need for you to go to any temple to do this meditation. Once you have it awakened, you can just meditate it at home at any point of time during the day. There is not much restriction. Doesn't have any conflict with any other form of meditation. So it doesn't even have any contradiction with any other religious methods as well. So you can just simply sit and meditate at your will, as you wish, at any point of time, practically anywhere you feel like. Although there are certain guidance that we will give you, that you better meditate in your own home, in a place that you are frequenting, in a place which is not disturbing, which has well ventilation, which has not necessarily much light, but which doesn't distract you from your meditation. Therefore, no sound and no music and no dance and things like that. It's a very calm and quiet and beautiful and peaceful experience, like Vandana, that you have been experiencing for so many years now. And so we just recommend that you just go over to a Sky Meditation Center. Remember that 99% of us who are teaching this do it on a voluntary basis. We do not take any money for the service that we do. I, for one, has never taken a single rupee from the workshops that we have been conducting. I'm a volunteer. I do this on a service basis. It is it's my service to my guru and the world community. I have gained a lot from this meditation. So are you. You have also been volunteering and you have not taken a single rupee from these workshops. We do collect, of course, some amount of donations from the workshop, which goes to the Sky Trust, which is used for propagating this message to as many people as we can. And there are people who are depending on the trust for their survival. There are clerks and there are office bearers There are support staff who need to be paid on a monthly basis, and therefore we conduct workshop and charge a very small amount. In fact, there are people who charge as small as $10 a month, $10 for an initiation, to about $100 for an initiation. We charge around $60, $70. Is that right? Around 5,000 rupees is what we charge for a 2-day workshop, and not a single rupee goes to us. Completely, all the money goes into meeting the expenses, and the remaining money goes into the Sky Trust, and we donate it to them. That's right. Your next, did I answer your question?
Yeah, thank you so much for that. Another question, the common misconception people have that once they are initiated into Kundalini meditation, they lose themselves and they are not able to live a normal life.
Okay, so yes, I've heard that question as well. So let's just see how these things can really work for us. So first of all, losing yourself could really mean that you have either completely lost in an eternal world and you have no more desire, no more interest in pursuing your materialistic life, or a life that that you have been living so far, that is based on the physical world, the mental world. Okay, so in that case, there is obviously something that you are doing wrong, because Kundalini Yoga, in the way that is being taught to us by our Guru Sri Vethathiri Maharishi, that we have all been practicing, Vandana, is that it will only make you choose the right kind of experiences and the right kind of indulgences that can give you moderation in enjoyment. In fact, you should be able to enjoy your life more. You should be able to succeed with your life much better. You should be able to not cause hurt for yourself or others, now or in the future, physically or mentally, in the way you live and lead your life.
Right.
So therefore, where is a question of getting hurt in the process? There's absolutely no chance of you getting hurt in the process. So that's my answer to one part of the question. There could be another reason that could make people ask the same question, which is that they are perhaps they have been searching for only a spiritual way of living. So my friend, I would like to suggest that perhaps you have misunderstood life. Life is not about just giving up everything and going and living in a forest and meditating and realizing yourself. Such a realization is useless. You will not be able to, first of all, succeed in doing that, because I don't remember knowing and hearing of too many people who have succeeded going and living in the forest and realizing themselves. Number one. Number two, who is going to take care of me if I just give up my life and I just go live in a forest? Who is going to feed me? Who is going to take care of me? Who is going to take care of my food, for instance, my shelter, for instance, my clothes, for instance, all my conveniences, for instance. So I will become a nomad. I will become a liability for the society. The other question is, I have my father still alive. I have my sisters. I have my wife. I have my children. Likewise, you may have certain dependencies in your life. Who is going to take care of them? I have my duty by them, so I need to take care of them as well. It is my a duty as well. It's a happy duty. I enjoy doing that because I gain so much from them. They give me so much of happiness and so much of success and so much of support in my life, and I can't imagine a life without them, and therefore I need to do my duty by them, just like how they are doing their duty by me. Okay, so that's the second part of the question. So don't just imagine that you're just going to give up everything and going and living in the forest, and such an awakening, such a kind of a self-realization is totally useless. You might perhaps struggle and succeed in realizing yourself, but then the moment you come back to this so-called noisy world, the materialistic physical world, right, and you're certainly going to lose yourself all over again. So where are you going to go again? Are you going to go back, run away from the whole noise? And remember that the noise is not just outside. The biggest noise, the most disturbing noise is from within us. Okay? We need to know how to handle all of the pressures outside and handle the noise inside, and keep in touch with the silence which is prevailing inside us. That to me is the truest form of self-realization and living.
Right. Beautifully said. I mean, I don't think there is any other perfect answer than that. So most of the questions that are asked are, sort of around these three important questions that I asked you, mainly because I guess there's a lot of misinformation out there portraying Kundalini as a very scary experience. So thank you, Professor, to have answered all those questions. I'm now much more, equipped to be able to take on these answers.
Wonderful, very, very nice having you on this live session. Thank you so much, Dr. Vandana. And I think we should do this more often.
We definitely should.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Do visit simplifiedkundaliniyoga.com and sign up for our next workshop. And we are accessible through the internet. We are accessible through this YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel and share our video with your friends and relatives all over the social networks through
Right.
WhatsApp and Facebook and YouTube and whatnot. And spread this good message that there is unnecessary, unwanted, false propaganda that is happening. This Kundalini is indeed a fearful experience. It is not. It is a beautiful, pleasurable, enjoyable, and peaceful experience for millions of people who are practicing the Sky Yoga system worldwide. Visit simplifiedkundaliniyoga.com, and I hope to see you soon in one of our workshops. Thank you so much, Dr. Vandana. Thank you so much, all of you friends, for watching this. Be blessed by the divine.
Be blessed by the divine.